Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the November finals for the Coliseum. This month we have reigning champion Suzaku, two-time champion SRP SS, two newcomers in Naturalsky and Sasteek, and Pontykey, who is a regular of the Coliseum finals. We've got Jeffrey in the corner here, opposite me. Hi, say hi to Jeffrey, everyone. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, guys.
Please leave comments saying hi to Jeffrey. I promise you I will ping him once for every comment you leave saying hi, Jeffrey.
Oh, I'd love that.
All right, so the rules today are going to be 1 times round robin, so everyone plays everyone. Then we're going to go into a slightly ghetto double elimination tournament. So it'll be like a double elimination tournament, but for each position you place in the Swiss, or sorry, not Swiss, in the round robin, you'll effectively get 1 bye. So 4th will play 5th, the winner of that will play 3rd, the winner of that will play 2nd, the winner of that will play 1st. So the person who wins the round robin essentially gets a bye straight to the finals, effectively. So the round robin is very important. For maps, we are doing, myself and Jeffrey are just picking maps. Sorry, I should probably say me and Jeffrey are just picking maps there, otherwise Black Race is going to yell at me for saying myself. So me and Jeffrey are going to pick maps until we get nearer. When we get to the bracketed stage, we might start doing some chat decided maps. All right, with all of that said, we're ready to get going. Pontykey versus Naturalsky, first gamer on slashed fields. Let's see if Naturalsky brings his absolutely favorite avatar. I know that Naturalsky loves to play avatar, very famous for playing that deck. And Pontykey likes to play triple air with a tech splash, often Centurion. So we might see close to a mirror match. We might see a 5-card almost mirror with multiple air units from both players. Ooh, we don't see that at all. So Pontykey's gone with a 2/2/2 nod aggro, but with the stealth tank instead of the Scorpion. And Naturalsky has gone for a very, normally he plays Rifle, Laser, Mutant, Venom, Laser Drones, Venom Phantom avatar. So today he's going with bikes instead of mutants, wheels instead of Venom, and artillery instead of avatar. What do you think about this, Jeffrey?
Well, first of all, I like the change just because I was a little worried about Naturalsky going with his comfort decks, because I think everybody's familiar with what Naturalsky plays, so I think I'm just happy to see that he's playing something different. In this particular matchup, it should work out pretty well for him. Pontykey playing Stealth Tank is going to help him out, because Scorpion Tank would, not work against artillery, so overall I quite like it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. Although he has still gone, he's not as heavy. He's not a proper tech deck. He's a deck that can definitely fight from first missile, as we're seeing here. But he is playing a deck that is still looking to stall out the early game and get the artillery. So the advantage of being a different deck when you're still playing the same slower game plan, I don't know how much of an advantage that is.
Yeah, I agree with you. And speaking of that, look at how things are going right now. Naturalsky's only playing a single harvester, and he's got expensive units. Like, he doesn't have his tech lab up yet, and we were at a minute 10 for that first missile, so I'm not too sure how this is going to play out for him. It's actually not looking too good.
Yeah, but to be fair, he did win the first missile, so that's the greatest score you can get is just winning the first missile.
Yeah, so he should be in pretty good shape. He's got the Phantom out now, so that's going to help him out. And I don't know, like, in your opinion, do you go Phantom first before artillery, or do you build the artillery first? I think usually it's the artillery.
Usually it's the artillery, but if you have a missile in hand, as Naturalsky does, and can afford to lose the second missile, then I think it's less important to get your win condition out. It's more important to get the Phantom out first, so you can fight the Banshees, and therefore your artillery will be protected when it comes out. Although, having said that, he suicides this Phantom in an attempt to stall this missile or to fire it. Loses the missile and the Phantom, so that's pretty bad for Naturalsky there.
Yep. He does have his tech lab up, so he's got all 4 buildings. His artillery is coming out. He's got double laser to protect it, so that's great. Of course, Pontykey's going to have to push back. He's going to try and get rid of these lasers with the double rifles, but it's not going to work. The artillery one-shots them with that AoE damage, taking them out. Banshee coming out might be enough, but he's going to have to build a Phantom. We're about to see that come out. Here it is. Phantom's going to get to that middle pad. It's going to clear one of the Banshees right away, but there is a second Banshee, and that might be a bit of an issue, but it looks like he's not going to be able to push forward with these Banshees either way.
Yeah, very strange choice from Naturalsky to move his Phantom after firing a single missile. I don't think that was intentional. And here comes a sneaky stealth tank. And the boosted sneaky stealth tank does get the artillery. This is a big deal. Naturalsky has to replace his artillery. He has to boost it. This is a lot of cost for Natsky. He can't afford to do that again. If he loses this artillery, he's going to struggle to replace it. Oh, but he gets the stealth tank. That is huge as well.
Yep.
Now, if he can block for the artillery with lasers to detect the stealth tank, then it's very easy to kill it.
Yeah, and actually, Pontykey's doing a really good job. Like, he had those rifles on that bottom hex, so he's able to protect against the lasers pushing up. But now there's 2 stealth tanks. And he actually gets a shot off on the stealth tank and loses its cloak. So this might be enough. And actually, the artillery's shooting a cloaked stealth tank. That's a bit of a bug, I guess. So that's a bit of a detriment here. And we'll see. This third missile's about to fire. Artillery's boosted, gets some damage off. The Venom's coming out. Won't be able to clear both of these Venoms very quickly, but the missile's stalled, so he's got plenty of time. He's going to move those wheels over the far left, and now the missile's charging over to Naturalsky. Can he take this here? Phantom clears that Venom. Middle Venom is still about to go down, but doesn't. Second Phantom comes out. Now he's got all 3 pads, and he takes it. Naturalsky taking this first game in the final.
From there, you see the power of the artillery just completely denying all ground units. Yeah, so firstly, not a bug. If your stealth tank is next to infantry, it counts as revealed. Even if they don't fire at it, as long as they're standing next to it, it counts as revealed. And secondly, you see how that first missile win was so important for Naturalsky because it allowed him to basically throw the second missile and still have time to get multiple artilleries out on the third missile. If you get your artillery out in the second missile, when you've lost the first missile and it dies in the manner that it did in that game, the second missile would have just fired and the game would be over. But because we were in the third missile, the economy ramp is so high that he could afford to replace his artillery almost instantly. So that first missile went absolutely huge for Natsky, coming in clutch there.
Yeah, you make a really good point. I think the importance there is, as you said, the third missile has higher economy ramp up. I think the amount of ramp up maximizes at about 225, and we reached that point. So for Naturalsky to continue forward on a single harvester actually worked out just fine. And overall, yeah, I think winning that first missile was the key in all of this. And yeah, just worked out pretty well. He was able to build like 3 or 4 Phantoms towards the end there and 2 artilleries. So
yeah, that's what did it. All right, here we go. Second game, Sasteek versus SRP SS, and we have a Liang mirror. So both players playing the most broken commander. Actually, what do you think, Jeffrey? Is Liang more or less broken than Jade?
That's a good question. I think so. The fact that it can hold pads, like I think pad control is overall better than destroying the base because it's useful more often. So I think Liang is more busted than Jade, but it's close. It's close.
I would say I think I disagree with you on the point that their broken thing they do is more busted. I think the Jade broken thing is more busted because you only need to win 1 missile in a game, which is insane.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But
that's a fair point.
Liang also heals, and that's also busted, whereas Jade does nothing in combat.
Right.
Like dodging a Jade missile is very easy. So Jade only has 1 mode, whereas Liang has 2 broken modes. So I think I agree with you. Liang's more broken, but not for the reasons that you gave.
Well, and as we all know, like Sandstorm with Liang, for example.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like that's so. Like MG Liang, it's just so disgusting.
It is. Yeah, 100%. Well, overall, we're not seeing a Razorback mirror, which is interesting, and this is going to be an advantage to Srpss. I don't know. I don't know if Hammerhead might be enough, but
yeah, I've been playing.
Once the Sandstorm gets out, right?
I've been playing Hammerhead in my sniper deck on ladder. And Hammerhead is pretty good versus Razorback because it actually kills it pretty quickly.
Well, the forward raider does make a difference, right? Like, you can actually catch it, and it does 600 damage per shot, so it'll clear a Razorback, I believe, in 3 shots.
Technically, the Phantom also has forward raider, but obviously the difference is that you normally, when the Razorback's running away from you, you only get 1 shot off. And with a Phantom, that's not very impressive, but with a Hammerhead, 1 shot is, you know, maximum damage for a Hammerhead. I think that's really what makes it a big difference.
Well, and for this game, so Ssteeek took that first missile, which is great for him. Now a Hammerhead coming out is going to be a big problem because Srpss is overcommitted on these 3 air units. Slingshot comes out, although how fast does a Slingshot clear a Hammerhead? Let's see. It does pretty good damage, but he's able to back it off. Yeah, so the Hammerhead's going to get some pretty good value in this match, and we're about to fire the second missile. Ssteeek is really way up ahead, and now Srpss is pushing with these Mohawks. Pitbulls won't be enough. He's got to be careful. He does get one of them. Hammerhead comes out, but he won't be able to hold against that slingshot with it in position. These double Pitbulls might be able to win against this Mohawk, but he's not on that bottom pad that Razorback's going to secure against these jump jets. Langdor now comes to heal up, but I believe the Mohawk is going to go down. It does. Langdor's going to go to that bottom right and start holding the pad. Razorback will push to the middle, but the Hammerhead's going to, no, actually goes down to the slingshot, and we're going to see the stalled missile for just a bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like SRP SS might take this one. I don't think this Pitbull's going to get to the bottom right in time. It does not. So we go to 1-1. I think this is a really bad time for Sasteek. I think that his deck is better in the early game. I think you could see how coming up to that missile, Sasteek had better control than SRP SS did. But I think once SRP SS sets up and gets control with his slingshot and Mohawks, it's going to be really hard for Sasteek to break it because he doesn't have missile creepers.
Yeah, I agree. And Blade, you can tell me about this. So once it gets to Sandstorm, because I think that's where we're inching towards, but actually the economy is not quite there, so maybe not. But if Sandstorm were to come out, would that be game over for Sasteek?
I think so. I mean, I think a Sandstorm with a single Razorback is something Sasteek can never beat. Sandstorm will kill everything except Jump Jet Troopers, and a Razorback will clean those up incredibly quickly. So if he does make it to Sandstorm, it's not. I don't think he's going to manage it this game, but if he did, I think it would be game over.
Yeah,
and the slingshot goes down.
That's
That's critical there. Allows this Hammerhead to have free reign for a few shots. Takes out a Mohawk and manages to take out another Razorback.
Well, we'll see who's going to take this third missile. The double Hammerheads might be an overcommitment, but Slingshot's not going to get into position. It gets onto the middle pad. Slingshot on the bottom as well will defend, and he takes it. Wow, that top pad being cleared was a big deal. And like you said, that first Slingshot being cleared did open things up, but didn't really matter too much. Srpss could just build Slingshots, get them into position real quick, and took the game.
Yeah, so Ssteeek relying on his Liang drone to hold that top pad, and it just expired. And when it expired, he didn't have enough units to get back on the pads. And yeah, I think that just showed that in the mid game, SRPSS's deck was just a lot stronger. So once the second missile fired, it was very difficult for Sasteek to get back into it. Game 3, Naturalsky taking on SRPSS. I've already forgotten the map. Peaks and Valleys, I want to say.
Yep, Peaks and Valleys.
Naturalsky bringing Oksana again. SRPSS again bringing Liang. Do you think we're going to see the same deck from SRPSS or a slight variation?
On Peaks and Valleys, I would expect the same deck.
I think I agree. I think the deck makes a lot of sense on this map. It's quite an open map. It's got free pads. You want mobility. It's good for air. Yeah, I can see exactly the same deck. Oh, it's slightly different. He's gone for an Orca Bomb. It's actually
similar,
quite different, right? He hasn't got the Mohawk anymore. He hasn't got the Slingshot. I like Pitbull. I think that's a good choice on this map. I think it's better than Slingshot for this map.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
Orca Bomber is obviously SRPSS's comfort unit. He loves the Orca Bomber, so interesting to see him going for that. I think that might be in anticipation of Naturalsky playing Super Unit. As we talked about, he's very well known for it, so SRPSS doesn't want to be dead to one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It will counter just about every super unit that Naturalsky could bring. In this case, he's decided to bring Rockworm, and yeah, Orca's going to do well against that too.
Yeah, there's actually some neat tricks you can do with Rockworm where if you burrow at the right time, you can dodge the entire Borka volley, but then obviously you still need a way to answer the Borka because you can't just pop up underneath it again.
We'll see who takes this first missile. So Razorback comes out, one volley gets onto it, but that won't be quite enough. Second one gets on there, doesn't clear the Razorback. He needs 3 full volleys from a bike squad to take it down, but finally does. Bikes and Buggy get onto that middle pad, and it looks like this first missile will go to Naturalsky. There we go. So he takes that first missile. Not too surprising in a Nod versus GDI matchup, though.
Yeah, nicely played by Naturalsky there. The boost on the bikes actually coming in really critical there, allowing the bikes to catch and fire at the Razorback before it moves out of range again. So that was the reason he was able to catch that Razorback so easily. And SRPSS choosing to go with the Orca Bomber instead of the Mohawk means that he simply didn't have the money to make an anti-vehicle unit.
Yeah, that's right. He was caught a bit short there. The Borka would have been good, but the Razorback cost and going into the helipad right away did mean that it was, like you said, it was just too expensive for him to get there.
Yeah, and SRPSS is an experienced player. He knows that Nod is going to beat air, generally speaking. So he's gone into Pitbulls, which is really where you need to be against Buggy and Bikes.
Well, and it looks like he's going to be using this Razorback with the Pitbull to support, but it might not be enough. Needs to get on the far right pad. Phantom coming out will be an issue. It's going to clear this Razorback. There it goes, but Pitbull's going to be able to hold this pad. Phantom's going to push over to the far right, but the bikes go down. Doesn't matter. Naturalsky's on all 3 pads, and he blocks on that left. Oh, actually, no. The bikes go down on the middle pad. Will he get the Razorback onto the pad and take this missile? And, oh, he does. Srpss gets back. Wow, that was real close.
Yeah, nice blocking from Naturalsky. I thought he had it, but that buggy down at the bottom just didn't quite have enough hit points to survive. Goes down just in time and lets SRP SS buy enough time to get his flying unit onto that top pad. Alright, so we get the first Orca Bomber from SRP SS. A little bit of miss micro there. I think he accidentally started bombing. I don't think he wanted to. But he sent it sort of away and then back in again. Gets a buggy and some damage on some lasers, but not too impressive a first volley. But the main thing is that the threat of the Orca Bomber forces Naturalsky to play in a different way until it's off the field.
Yeah, so exactly like you said, he needs to build this Phantom to clear it, but with the Liang drone healing it, doesn't get it quite down enough. Clears the bikes at the same time, and that was a really good play from Srpss camping at the spawn point, but he's not going to be able to get on these pads. I think this game's going to go to Srpss, and yeah, Srpss takes it. That Borka was such a strong play. And keeping it at the base was really where things shut down. Yeah,
the Borka surviving the Phantom volley and then surviving the single bike missile because of the Liang drone. Yep. It then ended up killing an additional something like 5 units. It just completely shut down everything that Sky made. Really brutal there. Really brutal. I think that Sky panicked a little bit when the Borka didn't die and just kept trying to make units, and yeah.
But it was a really close game. There were some really great blocks, especially on that first missile. And yeah, he didn't even get to Rockworm, unfortunately. So he's playing with a 5-card deck for the entire match.
Yeah, and that is one of the downsides of playing a Tech Splash. This is the main reason that people don't play Tech Splashes very often at high Tiberium, is simply the fact that in a close game you don't get to your Tech Splash and you're just missing a unit. Pontykey versus Suzaku. This is Suzaku's first game, reigning champion. Playing Liang, because Liang is broken. Taking on Pontykey. Playing Jackson. Very foolish decision, trying to play a balanced commander. Not sure what he's thinking here. Could be Mammoth. Could be Mammoth.
Yep,
that would make sense.
Possible.
Also, Mammoth is extremely good against the Suzaku deck that Suzaku's been playing lately. So, interested to see if that's what it is. It is not Mammoth. No. Interesting. Although I will also say that actually a lot of people have been playing Jackson with Razorback, and it is pretty insane, so maybe this is still better.
Yeah, well, take a busted unit like Razorback, throw a boost on it, it just becomes gross, right? So, yep. Yeah, not a bad idea. In this particular matchup, though, if Suzaku gets the Sandstorm, I mean, I don't know. I think that's going to shut things down, especially with Grenadiers to support. This is not looking good for him, I think.
I mean,
overall.
this is exactly why Suzaku splashes a Sandstorm in his deck, because the Razorback mirrors, Sandstorm is just a trump card. Sandstorm always wins in the Razorback mirror. I've actually seen Agent Shadow play a similar deck to the one Suzaku's playing, but with Mammoth instead of Sandstorm, because then you trump opponent playing Sandstorm. So it's like this. It's like this game of trying to one-up each other, where you're like, okay, I'm playing like Pontykey's got like a regular deck, and then Suzaku's like, I'm gonna one-up you with Sandstorm, and then Agent Shadow's like, I'm gonna one-up you both with Mammoth Tank. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Pontykey takes the first missile by using his Razorback first. That Razorback coming up first was very important. He boosted to get in position a bit quicker, and actually did work out pretty well because he was able to get to that far right pad in time, clear the rifleman, and then this Razorback from Suzaku just wasn't timely enough to get to that top pad and clear it and stall it. So worked out for Pontykey pretty well there.
Yeah, to be honest, Suzaku went double harvester. I think he knew he was going to lose the first missile. He probably was hoping to get a little bit more stall out of it, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting for that first missile to go his way. He's gonna try and get this this Sandstorm out, because the Sandstorm is gonna win the game if he gets it out. But I don't know if it's gonna be in time. I mean, he's gonna have it soon, but Pontykey's Pitbull has been wrecking havoc. It's already taken out a Razorback and a Liang drone. And here comes a boosted Predator.
Wow, so it is going to be able to clear the slingshot one more shot, and it's about to go down. Razorback does clear the missiles, but it doesn't matter. The Predator tank's going to be able to clear it, so that's great. But double Grenadier is going to shut down these 3 War Factory units from Pontykey. That Pitbull's still alive, though. He tries to pull the Harvester, but gets the block and doesn't get there in time. Sandstorm now coming out. Will it be in time? There's a lot of time on the missile timer still, so I think it will. But now the Sandstorm's going to start pushing forward. We'll be able to clear this Razorback. He needs to push it back, and he does. Pitbull's going to go down to the Sandstorm, and it looks like it's going to start flipping over to Suzaku. But this middle pad's just starting to get blocked. But the Razorback gets on there. Leandro's going to be able to get there if it needs to. Pitbull can't clear it in time, and missiles boosted. Get onto that far left. Nice movement from Pontykey. And now Leandro's going to get onto that far top pad there. Razorback is going to hold steady, but Sandstorm, another one comes out, and that's going to be a big problem. He's going to be able to clear this Razorback right now, and he's going to start charging the missile. But Sandstorm on the bottom left is about to go down. Actually, doesn't matter because Razorback's there. And Suzaku takes the second missile. This is a big deal for Suzaku.
Yeah, a little surprised. It looked like Pontykey was going to take it there. His boosted missiles were actually beating the Sandstorm pretty handily. Without Liang drone, Sandstorm does lose to missile troopers. It needs that Liang drone to become indestructible against them. But yeah, as you say, taking the second missile for Suzaku is such a big deal. And now he's just got a Sandstorm on each pad. All he needs now is a single Razorback to protect these from missiles. And I don't see how Pontykey gets back into it.
I agree. This is the thing, right? And he is a little bit maybe overcommitted on these Sandstorms, but it should work out okay.
They're I don't know if you can be overcommitted on Sandstorms.
Yeah, especially in
but
this
they kill
matchup,
everything, so...
Well, and he was Liang droning the bottom Sandstorm, so he survived all three of them so far. Pulls the Harvester, doesn't need any more cash. He should be able to hold these Sandstorms and maintain their value, so it looks like it's going to work out pretty well overall. Boost to Predator shouldn't be enough. It's probably going to go down to the single Sandstorm at the top, but it's getting pretty close. Actually, it might win, but the Razorback should just clear that up, and never mind. Doesn't matter.
There is a surrender from Pontykey. Yeah, you could actually Sandstorm at equal levels. Without a Liang drone will not trade that well with Predators. Predators can take them down. I actually think maybe that's what Pontykey needed to do, was just to get more Predators to handle these Sandstorms. But yeah, Suzaku making the smart play of removing Micro from the game. Parking a Sandstorm on every pad and waiting until the game ends.
Yeah, overall I was surprised to see that Pontykey didn't bring Mammoth Tank. I'm not sure what he was expecting from Suzaku, but I think that was really just the overall downfall in this match, was Pontykey didn't bring the right deck.
All right, SRP SS versus Suzaku. This is the reigning champion versus the two-time champion. No, sorry, three-time champion. SRP SS has 3 wins. I forgot I'd already sent him a trophy. I've got 2 more sitting next to me, ready to go.
Nice. As expected, though, he is a very, very good player.
SR Beast SS, as you call him.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. He's a scary guy. He is a scary guy. Everyone in this Coliseum is a scary guy, to be fair. Oh my god, what is Suzaku doing?
Wow. Huge change up in decks. We have Srpss not even running Barracks, and he's running Mammoth with Warfare. Like, wow, that's an interesting deck. And then Suzaku bringing Widowmaker with Basilisk.
So SRPSS is clearly predicting Suzaku bringing Sandstorm Razorback, right? So he's playing no infantry, so he doesn't lose to Razorback, and he's playing Mammoth Tank to beat Sandstorms. Suzaku has gone completely wild, though. He doesn't bring that at all. He's bringing a Basilisk deck. I think the Basilisk is to counter the Mammoth. I think he's predicted SRPSS is going to bring Mammoth on this map, and he's brought Basilisk to counter it. Now, the question is, why on earth is there a Widowmaker in his deck?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the idea could be to deal with the units that Basilisk can't, but it's so terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Widowmaker is terrible. It doesn't deal with the units that Basilisk can't, because it doesn't deal with anything. It's a horrible unit. Like,
so
if that was...
I'm not really sure.
If that was Cyborgs, I could understand. Cyborgs provide anti-air for your Basilisk. If it was Confessor, that I could understand. If it was Stealth Tank, I think that would be the ideal unit, because Stealth Tank beats all of the air units that go with a Mammoth deck. But Widowmaker?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see who takes the first missile. So the middle pad's being held up by that Pitbull and the Razorback. They both don't quite go down, and with the Razorback and Pitbull, they're going to do the Pitbull's going to one-shot the bikes, but doesn't matter, takes it down, and now Suzaku is going to take this first missile.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird sort of delay there from SRPSS. It looked like he sort of stopped making stuff for a little while and then made his Mohawk as the missile was firing, which, I don't know, it seems like if you're going to make the Mohawk to fight for the missile, you should have done it sooner, and if you're not, then you shouldn't do it at all, because it's just skewing 50 Tiberium that could go towards your Mammoth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a slightly weird play there.
It was a bit weird. And speaking of that, so we see Suzaku went first harvester, or one harvester for that first missile. Now gets a basilisk out before Srpss gets the mammoth tank. And that's going to be really key. We see a mammoth tank coming out. The boosted basilisk is going to start dealing with these harvesters. And this is putting Suzaku into a really good position.
Yeah, the fact that he built the basilisk before the mammoth could be a little bit sketchy because it means that SRP SS might have just not built his mammoth. But luckily, SRP SS does build the mammoth still. And yeah, we see the basilisk clean up the harvesters. But now what's the plan? Suzaku can give away this missile, that's fine, but like he needs to look at this Widowmaker. It's just so terrible. He's trying to kill this hammerhead to protect his basilisk. The Widowmaker just can't do it.
No, it can't.
It just can't kill the hammerhead in time because it's so awful.
It really is terrible. Like it took a really long time to clear that hammerhead, and
I honestly
the basilisk did take a
think if he'd made bikes, he would have killed that hammerhead quicker. Wow. Okay, so Suzaku does take it, mostly because the Basilisk cleans up the Mammoth so easily. So great choice on the Basilisk. But the Widowmaker did nothing. I think the Widowmaker honestly was worse than Bike Squadron would have been.
Well, like, or you just use Phantom or Stealth
Yeah,
Tank, right?
or
like,
yeah, Phantom or Cyborg or Stealth Tank. I really think Stealth Tank is the ultimate choice. Stealth Tank is absolutely the best because Stealth Tank will one-shot all of the air units in the Mammoth deck. In fact, the only unit in SRPSS's deck that didn't get one-shot by a Stealth Tank was a Mammoth Tank. So...
Yep.
I have no idea what the Widowmaker was about, but he does. Suzaku does take it. Nothing to do with the Widowmaker. I just want to make it very clear the Widowmaker was horrendous. But the Basilisk was a great. The Basilisk was a great prediction from Suzaku. Really good prediction there. Sasteek taking on Naturalsky. We've got Oksana versus Liang. I am predicting. I actually have no idea from this one. Like, I would have thought Sasteek would be bringing a Razorback deck, but he's clearly not because he's playing Nod. And Naturalsky is bringing Liang. Which normally, I would say, I mean, it's Natsky, so you expect like a Mammoth, but I don't think Liang Mammoth is very good, and I think he agrees with me. I think he thinks that Jackson Mammoth is better. So I have no idea. Also, I don't think this is a good tech map, so...
No, it really isn't. It's so easy to pressure the Harvester, especially because the 3 tip fields are close to the 2 pads, so... Yeah, I don't think Double Harvester... It looks like it could be good for Double Harvester, but overall not.
Very interesting choices on decks here. So Naturalsky's gone for a Razorback Mohawk deck. Little bit of variation. He's gone with Talon as his anti-air unit instead of well, I guess he's got Talon and Pitbull, so he doesn't really have a good anti-vehicle unit. He's relying on Pitbulls and Mohawks. And Ssteeek has gone for a Fnatic Giga with Stealth Tank. Very interesting.
So I think this matchup's going to come down to Naturalsky using the micro of the Razorback to protect the missiles.
Yes.
And then just using it to survive against the Stealth Tank. Because if the Stealth Tank catches any of these air units, that's going to be game over for Naturalsky. It's going to be very difficult for him to maintain field advantage if that becomes the case.
Yes, I completely agree with you. Natsky's game plan is going to be 2 missiles in a line with a Razorback protecting them. And Sasteek is going to be trying to weave a Stealth Tank in there to kill the air unit without taking hits from the missile troopers. And that's going to come down to micro. I think that favors the Razorback player, though.
So we're going to see this missile flip over right away. The Cyber Wheel is going to survive long enough for the lasers to clear it, but the Mohawk's going to get onto that top pad with missiles to get on the middle pad, or far right, and flips a missile over. He's going to flip with the Mohawk on the top pad, and he does. No, actually, sorry, the Talon goes down on the far left. And now he's going to build another Talon. He should be able to switch the Mohawk to that far left and be able to start charging the missile again. Can he block against these Fanatics, though? It's not looking good. Talon should go down to these lasers on that middle pad, I believe. And so far, it's looking pretty close. Can Ssteeek take this one? Another Talon comes out. He's going to be able to block on this middle pad, but will the Militants get there in time? They don't. Bikes get on there, but it doesn't matter. Fanatics were blocked from those missiles on that far right, and the first missile goes to Naturalsky.
Wow, really intense first missile there. A few things that happened during that missile. Natsky went for the steal, trying to move his Liang drone and Mohawk onto the pad at exactly the same time with the missile at about 99% to try and flip it. But he missed micro slightly and ended up moving the Liang drone on and not the unit onto the top pad, which meant the Liang drone actually died before the missile fired. That's why the missile went yellow and then blue and then back to yellow instead of going straight from red to yellow. Oh, sorry, red to blue. And then Sasteek moved the Fanatics over and cleared the missiles, but very slightly too late for him to fire that missile. So really a lot going on in that missile. Really a very intense fight.
There was, and speaking of that, the stealth tank has got a ton of value, finally goes down, but this is Naturalsky a bit down. Another stealth tank comes out, will clear this Mohawk, and he just needs to hold these two pads. The Leandro gets onto the middle pad, it's going to hold for a little bit longer. Actually, no, he moves it over the top, but Razorback gets on there. Leandro goes down to that second stealth tank, and now that boosted stealth tank double boosted clears that Razorback very quickly, and Ssteeek comes back into this game, taking the second missile against Naturalsky. Ooh.
Once again,
was a great play by Sasteek.
As you predicted in the early game, if these stealth tanks are able to take out Natsky's air units, then Natsky is going to be in a world of hurt, and that's exactly what's happening. Sasteek keeps getting snipes with these stealth tanks. Naturalsky is not getting the setup he needs with the Razorback protecting the missile troopers properly, and this is really hurting him because his missiles are going down to fanatics that the Razorback should be able to clean up.
So will he get another one? No, the stealth tank unloads onto those missile troopers instead. The double boosted stealth tank is a little bit harder to control, so it was a little bit of a misstep, but doesn't matter. He's maintained it, so it hasn't gone down quite yet. Will it clear this Razorback? And no, it actually goes onto the missiles. A great micro from Naturalsky. He's starting to claw back and do the nice micro that we want to see with the Razorback. These missiles are being able to protect quite well. Now the stealth tank goes after the Talon, and with the Razorback and missile supporting, clears that first stealth tank, but now another one comes out, and this is really what Sasteek needs to do. He needs to keep pushing these stealth tanks out to make sure that he pushes these Razorbacks back. And so far that's working out quite well. Now the third missile is about to fire. Harvester Pole gets onto that far right pad, and now the Leandro goes down. Razorback's gonna be able to hold against the stealth tank for long, but it's not looking good. The extra Harvester Pole, the Harvester Pole from Sasteek does manage to get that far left pad, allowing Sasteek to take all three and take the third missile. Well done to him.
Yeah, I think the point you brought up there of the Harvester pull was absolutely critical in that missile. Both players actually had a lot of Tiberium. Both players were on 200 or so. But Sasteek pulled his Harvester much sooner, and that gave him effectively an extra combat unit for the last sort of 25 seconds. Natsky pulled his Harvester too late, and by the time he pulled it, he'd already lost control of the middle. And once he lost control of the middle, it was easy for Sasteek to set up a stealth tank in between base and middle, and then Naturalsky couldn't get any air units back into the middle of the map.
Right.
That was really nice play from Sasteek there. Really nice. Alright, Sasteek taking on Suzaku. Looks like a Nod mirror. I gotta say, I'm amazed at how many people are playing Nod. I really thought we were going to see only Razorbacks today.
Yeah, me too.
But a lot of people are bringing the Nod instead. I think a lot of people are trying to counter Razorbacks. I think we might see two decks designed to beat Razorbacks here. It's very, very interesting.
Maybe. Okay, all right, interesting. So we've got it's something similar to what Les QQ plays, but with a Chem Buggy. So Confessor and Basilisk, and then we've got a Fnatic deck with Basilisk Splash from Suzaku, but no tanks. He's using Stealth Tank, Bikes, and Buggy in the War Factory. You know, I'm not entirely sure of what to make of this matchup, to be honest. I think overall, this has got I think Suzaku's got the advantage. The Fanatics should be able to deal with the Confessors no problem if it gets to that point. Actually, no, Buggy will be the right answer for that.
Yeah, Fanatics definitely won't.
And Basilisk's going to shut down the rest, and Sasteek doesn't have a really good answer to Basilisk except Confessor. So
Confessor's not a good answer to Basilisk. I agree with you. I agree with you on. I think Suzaku's favored because both players have Basilisk, but Suzaku's Stealth Tank is a better answer to Basilisk than Confessor. Confessor will not beat a Basilisk, but Stealth Tank will.
Yes.
So I think basically Basilisk is going to be the key player on both sides. Neither deck can really kill a Basilisk effectively, but Suzaku can kill it way more effectively than Sasteek can. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. But obviously, it's rivals. Anything can happen. I killed a Basilisk once with 2 buggies, so who knows?
Oh, no kidding. God. We'll see if that ends up being the case. First stealth thing coming up from Suzaku. Both players have gone double harvester. PopCap-wise are in the same situation, but he doesn't block the militants on that top pad, but Buggy will be able to push them off, and it looks like he should be able to take this first missile, which may not be entirely important in this matchup. But first Confessor's coming out. What is he doing with them? I'm not too sure. Doesn't really matter though. Suzaku does take this first missile.
Yeah, I think Sasteek made these Confessors and then realized actually they're not very good anywhere on the field. And here comes the Basilisk. Yeah. Both players have a Basilisk now. This actually, I think, might be a mistake from Suzaku, because I think this Basilisk gives these Confessors... gives these Confessors a reasonable target. Yeah, and look at that. The Confessors take down the Basilisk.
Win. Oh, this isn't good. So a Basilisk from Sasteek is going to start dealing damage to these Harvesters. Is it going to clear the Stealth Tank? And it does. Oh, no, that's not good for Suzaku. The Basilisk from Suzaku is a bit of an overcommitment. I think he needs Stealth Tank in this case.
Yeah, I think Suzaku should not be going as much tech. Oh my god, Sasteek has moved his harvester to Suzaku's Tiberium.
Oh, I love it.
What a troll. I don't know if that was intentional or if it went there because the buggy was blocking it at the top.
Oh, that's possible. He is going to push it back over to the far left, but it doesn't matter. He is on through the 3 pads, so he looks like he is going to take this. Basilisk can't push forward. And yeah, that's the case. Ssteeek takes the second missile coming back, and we're at a 1-1 game right now.
Yeah, really strange game here. Really strange. Like I said, both teams are basically making these giant battlecruiser basilisks, and it's really hard for anyone to kill them, but they don't shoot each other. So we've got this really weird game where both players have 2 basilisks, and neither player can kill them.
Yep. Yeah, the Confessors are doing actually a little bit better than I expected, but
yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Really coming down to
yeah, I have to agree with you that the Confessors are doing a much better job than I expected. Oh wow, Suzaku's going for the base. I think this is a huge misplay by him. There's no way these Basilisks kill the base through Confessor defense. I think I underestimated the Confessors. They're doing a lot better against these Basilisks than I expected.
Yeah, they have quite a bit of health. They have 800 health per member, and Basilisk doesn't do quite enough damage against infantry to clear them in time. So, yeah, interestingly, they're doing a lot better than we expected. But Harvester pull on that far left will hold against the stealth tank. Confessors are going to start to kill that Basilisk. I don't know if they're going to be there. Yeah, they will. Basilisk supports and actually clears the buggy in time for the Confessor to deal their damage. Now he needs to get on the far right pad. It's about to flip over, and there it goes. The Basilisk gets on there.
Flips.
No, it's going to flip over. It's the stall. But who's going to take it? The stealth tank's about to get onto the bottom right. It won't be able to clear the Basilisk in one volley. I think the Basilisk will win that. It's going to be real close. No, Basilisk does win. It's going to start to flip over. Bike's getting on the top pad, but it doesn't matter. They're going to go down to the Basilisk, and Confessors are going to clear those bikes, but no, it doesn't matter.
Wait.
It doesn't matter. He's not on the pads.
Why did Sasteek move off the pad? That has to be a misclick. He moved the Basilisk on the bottom right off of the pad. That has to have been a misclick, right? It's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he was about to take the left pad. Like, that game ended with Sasteek having 2 pads. Alright, we got Pontykey on Jackson, SRP SS on Liang. Very interested by how much deck diversity and faction diversity we've had. I really thought we were going to see just Razorbacks, and instead we're seeing all kinds of things. Absolutely everything under the sun. Even Widowmaker. Like, I would have put money on it that we wouldn't see Widowmaker today.
Yeah, I would too. It's just so bad. If we see Scarabs, then I'm out.
Like, I don't think I can cope. If I see Scarabs, I don't think I can cope. I might just have to go home. I mean, I'm already home. I might have to just leave the room.
Well, now that you said it, we might see that. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we're just going to go with the GDI matchup for now. And
also, I mean, for the YouTube video, because I would have cut out the bit in between when we were talking about it, Sasteek did confirm that he did not mean to move that Basilisk. That was a misclick. So, unlucky for him. So, wow, SRP SS going triple rifle into these dogs.
Yeah, ouch. That's not going to pay off very well. But triple dogs means that Srpss can build his Mohawks, and Mohawks should be an issue. But we're only about halfway through this missile, so the slingshot boost is going to do really good work as soon as it gets into position. And this is a great map shot. It's going to be able to move around very minimally and still gain a lot of value. So it's pushing this Mohawk back, which means Pontykey should comfortably take this missile. He swaps the dogs with the slingshot. Good play. Of course, that top hat was a little bit precarious with that single dog on there, but doesn't matter. The switch allows him to take this first missile. So great to Pontykey.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out who's favored in this matchup. This is a hard one to say. Obviously, SRPSS's start was brutal.
Yes.
So he basically lost the first missile because of that. So the slingshot shuts that. The only answer to slingshot in SRPSS's deck is Grenz. But to get there, he needs to go through a Razorback. So I think what he needs to do is move up a Gren with slingshot behind it.
Yep.
And that should be everything Pontykey can do, right?
Yes.
I guess then Pontykey makes jump jets. So yeah, this is going to come down to the slingshot mirror, basically. Whoever slingshot lives is going to win this game.
Yeah, and Pontykey does have Orca in his deck, which will deal with the slingshot. SRPS is not having missiles could be a bit of an issue, but we're about to fire the second missile. Leandro gets to the top head with the Mohawk. Slingshot gets to the far right, but jump jets are going to start dealing with it. And Talon gets up to that top pad. This is looking good for Pontykey. I think he's got this one. He's going to get another Talon onto that top pad. Almost gets a block with the Mohawk, but doesn't quite. And yeah, takes the second missile and 2-0 this game against Srpss. And a surprising defeat.
Yeah, I think that... I think it was basically came down to who could preserve their slingshot better, and that turned out to be Pontykey. And both players, the Razorback is so powerful that whoever had free reign to use a Razorback was going to win that one, and it ended up being Pontykey. All right, Ssteeek bringing Oksana and Pontiki with Jackson. Let's see what the decks are. Got a bit of a long load time on that one. All right, so we've got another Razorback deck, and and Ssteeek has brought the Scarabs.
Of course he did. See, you said it, and well, here they are.
Come on, guys, you're meant to be trying to win the games, not troll me. Oh dear.
We'll be back.
I don't think these Scarabs are going to be very good. Pontiki has Rifleman and Razorback. I think these Scarabs are going to be a little bit weak here.
I mean, they'll be better in the late game where Pontyky's got to rely on Razorback. But yeah, overall, not a good choice.
Alright, so Ssteeek does get an early Scarab set up, although Pontiki can just suicide units into it this early in the game.
Yeah.
Pontiki playing a triple infantry Razorback deck this time with jump jets.
It might work out. This first missile is about to fire. He's not going to be able to get onto the middle pad. Rhino should push forward and block. And no, actually doesn't. The Miltons do get there, but they should be able to win against it. So looks like Pontiki will be able to get there, but the bikes get onto the pad. And I don't think they're going to win. Jump Jets will be able to clear them up. And Ken Buggy is going to try to get on there as well. Actually, it's doing a really good job. This might be Ssteek's. Oh, but the Scarab's about to take out the Jump Jets. Like a hold that still. And right now, Ssteeek is looking pretty good. And yes, he does. Scarabs turning out to actually do something has been surprising.
Scarab's MVP. So Ssteeek is playing. He's playing artillery, but his anti-air is Scarab instead of Phantom. That's just insane.
Yeah.
This deck is just insane.
He does have Scavengers, but yeah, without Phantom, that's going to be a bit of an issue because he does need it for Razorback. Scavengers are definitely not going to win against Razorback, and Scarabs I can't see winning either. So
yeah, artillery also dies to Razorback, so like Razorback kills artillery reasonably quickly because artillery has so little hit points. So yeah, this is going to be an issue.
But, well, good for Ssteeek. He takes that Harvester down, shutting down Pontiki a little bit, but doesn't really matter too much. He's got tons of money, so it may not really make too much of a difference. We're about to fire the second missile, and so far Pontiki does have pads, but artillery comes up boosting it, and it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to clear enough, but he's going to be able to stall long enough for it to do its work. So Scarab does take out a Pitbull and actually does something again. Will this artillery be enough? No, Scarabs aren't going to make it, and Pontiki does take the second missile. It's really good for him, but we'll see.
Bit of a misplay from Ssteeek there, trying to get Scarabs back on that pad. He should have gone for something a little bit faster, that close to the end of the missile. Like bikes or something. He just needed any unit there, he didn't need a Scarab.
Yeah, bikes would have been a lot better. I guess, I'm not sure really what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking the missile was going to stall for a bit longer than it did, but actually getting some decent value out of these Scarabs so far. Quite surprising.
Well, I mean, that was Pontiki's intentionally suiciding 2 rifles into them. But yeah, I mean, the amount of time it takes to rebuild those units and get them into combat is relevant. And Pontiki, you can see, he doesn't have much going on. He's saving for the Razorback now because he knows he can't beat this artillery with ground troops. I don't think it's going to be in time.
No, I don't think so either. The Razorback will be able to do it, but I think Ssteeek will be in a position where he can protect the artillery well enough. Razorback's starting to do some pretty good work, though, but it's not going to be quite enough. Razorback gets onto that middle pad. It will clear these Scavengers, but the Rhino's not going to win against the Ken Buggy, so I think this goes to Ssteeek, and yeah, it does.
Oh, hey! Pontiki does take out the artillery with Ssteeek's Scarabs as the missile is hitting his face. Very cute play at the end there. And yeah, Ssteeek brings Scarabs and wins. I don't even know what's happening anymore, man. Okay, last game of the round robin. Suzaku versus Naturalsky. Got a Liang mirror. After this, we will move to a bracketed knockout. Well, bracketed double elimination. With the seeding based upon the round robin results. With tiebreakers being, I think it's missiles fired.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so we have Razorback mirror again. Naturalsky with Zone Trooper splash. Suzaku going for the Grenadier. This is a like Agent Shadow style Razorback deck. So pretty much all Razorback decks are Rifle, Missile, Slingshot, Mohawk, Razorback. Then it was the 6th unit is what differentiates the deck. So Suzaku plays Pitbull Sandstorm instead of Slingshot Gren. The deck we're seeing now is Agent Shadow's deck. The classic deck is Predator Tank, and the deck I believe is the probably best in the mirror is with MLRS instead. But all of those decks are pretty similar.
I don't know who to favor. Like, Grenadiers are going to come out way sooner than the zones, but I mean, I don't know. Like, what is your opinion on zones versus Razorback? Are zones just bad against Razorback?
They're not bad, but they don't cut it. I don't think they do enough. Like, for their cost, it's quite easy for a couple of Razorbacks or a Liang Razorback to beat up on them, and that's just not worth it, considering they cost 120.
Unit lost.
So I think I
Because the
favor
important thing is
Suzaku
gonna be
slightly.
slingshot.
But
Yeah, perhaps you're right.
Like last time, it'll come down to who Slingshot lives, and I think that Naturalsky does not have a way to remove Slingshot, and Suzaku does. So I think I favor Suzaku.
Ready.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially in the early game. But this missile stalled for days. Like, we're at a minute 25, and the first missile's not even half charged, which I think is going to be better for Naturalsky overall. But like you said, it's really going to come down to protecting these slingshots. Liang Drone does come down to heal the slingshot up, so that's really good. Another one comes out. This may be an overcommitment, we'll see, but it should work out. Second slingshot on that far right pad will be able to start dealing with the Razorback, and he should be able to protect this middle pad. Razorback moves over, but won't be enough. And now a third slingshot. He's going to take all 3 pads, though. The Mohawk's going to survive on that bottom pad, especially with the Liang Drone healing it up. He needs to get that slingshot moved down if he's going to be able to win this missile, and I think he's about to do that. There we go. Slingshot's going to move down to the bottom hex and start dealing with Mohawk, but it doesn't matter. He's actually on all 3 pads there with that Grenadier surviving long enough, so Suzaku takes the first missile.
I think a bit of missed micro from Suzaku there. He didn't need to move the Slingshot to the pad. He just needed to move it so it could start shooting the Mohawk. So
Yeah.
I don't know why he sent it so far. But yeah, he does take that missile mostly through the fact that he has more slingshot power than Naturalsky does. Or more accurately, Naturalsky's deck relies more heavily on the slingshots. Oh, sorry, on the air units.
Right.
Alright, so here comes the
because of
first
the amount
Zone
of time
Trooper.
here, yeah. Zone Trooper's out now. That's good for Naturalsky, but may not be enough.
Well, look, I mean, to be fair, what I didn't consider is this scenario of a Zone Trooper protected by a slingshot. That could be a real problem for Razorbacks to deal with.
That's true. That's true. The Zone Troopers do have 1,000 health each, so they can tank for quite a while. The DPS of the Razorback's about 215, as I recall, so it does take a little while for it to clear the zones, and maybe the time to kill for the slingshot's enough for the Zone Troopers to get protected. So could be right. We'll see. These 2 Zone Troopers on the middle pad are going to be a bit of an issue. I think the double Razorback will win, and yes, actually they will. That is so much DPS, but Slingshot does get there. Grenadiers are going to try and push on. Will be able to hold long enough? No, the Grenadiers will clear 1 shot and it should push over, but nice blocking with the Zone Trooper, and I think Naturalsky's got this. Oh,
Ooh.
yes, he does. That Razorback almost made it in time, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think the Slingshot would have cleared it in time for Naturalsky to secure that missile.
Yeah, if Suzaku had a little bit longer, he would have sent that Razorback down to kill that Zone Trooper. But when he was running out of time, he realized he needed to send the Razorback left to try and stall. Now that we've reached this stage, I feel like maybe it's Naturalsky's favorite. It's hard to say. Like, there's a bit of downtime here as the Harvesters move north. That's going to hurt Naturalsky a lot more than it hurts Suzaku because he's trying to make 120 cost units.
Yeah, I think so. It's really close. It's so hard to say now that we're at this point. The economy's ramping up quite a bit, so that means Naturalsky will be able to build more zones. The Grenadiers are pretty tanky, but I think at this point, I think the Zone Troopers are likely more favored.
Yeah, it's, if Naturalsky can make as many Zone Troopers as Suzaku can make Grenadiers, I think he'll be ahead. But it's not clear that's going to be the case. I mean, he's got 1 Zone Trooper out, and he can't build another one yet, and that's a real problem for him. He needs multiple Zone Troopers here.
He does, and just like that, Suzaku also needs multiple Razorbacks, so the 2 almost go down, and now the Zone Troopers are holding strong. The Slingshot on the bottom line clears the Razorback, and I think Naturalsky is going to be favored, but does get those Riflemen onto that far right, so that's looking good. He's going to clear this Zone Trooper. There he goes, and now he's going to block the Zone Trooper from getting on there, and now Suzaku's got this. Oh, man, that was real close.
I think Naturalsky pulled his Harvester too early there. His deck is too expensive. Yes. He couldn't afford the Harvester pull. He ran out of money and could not make anything expensive. And that's why Suzaku ended up taking that missile. Because, yeah, Suzaku's deck was much better at running off of no Harvester. Not that he needed to, because he never pulled his. So, yeah, I think Natsky just shouldn't have pulled his half. Here we are with the first game of the double elimination bracket. So this is Pontykey taking on Naturalsky, 4th and 5th seed. The winner of this will take on Sasteek. The loser will go to the losers bracket. So we're seeing Kane from Naturalsky. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, very interesting for sure. The first time we're seeing Kane as well, so that's exciting.
I'm wondering if there's a reason for this. Oh, it's the Suzaku Kane Tick Tank deck. Okay, so there is a reason for it. And Pontykey with a quadruple vehicle deck, no anti-infantry infantry, relying exclusively on chemical buggy for his anti-infantry. Yeah, I don't like this at all. These decks, first of all, look at what happens here. To fight these militants, he needs to save up 100 Tiberium now. So that's, I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, yeah.
And then secondly, if your opponent's playing Marauders or Wrens, you can probably never win.
Yeah, that's true, because they would win against the Chem Buggy every day of the week, so... Well, we'll see what happens. His first missile's about to fire, and right now Pontykey does manage to take it with his Chem Buggy, so the timing's working out pretty well, but will it be in time? Venom's going to go over to that far left and start dealing with the lasers, but I think he's going to be able to block and get the Venom off the pad, so it's not going to be enough, but actually double Venom gets on there, flips it!
Ooh.
Oh! Really great timing from Naturalsky. That was beautifully played.
I know Naturalsky practices this, does this a lot. The timing of the flips where he moves 2 units onto 2 pads at the same time. I've definitely seen him do that before. It's very nice to see it in action here.
Yeah, it was perfect. They were they both went on the pad exactly the same time, flipped it. There was no way that Pontykey could clear them in time. So yeah, wow, takes that first missile. That was really, really well done.
Sorry. That's exactly why you have to fight for all pads. If you're only fighting for 2 pads, then something like that can happen to you. So that's why it's really important to be on all 3 pads whenever you're playing on a 3-pad map.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I mean, this could be a 3-missile game. We'll see. Phantom comes out, will be able to clear this Banshee. Chem Buggy's not going to be able to do anything against it, but now stealthing from Pontykey, good answer. That stealthing being on the far right really isn't doing a whole lot. It's actually becoming a slight bit of liability, although it is holding the pad, so that might work out, but he's going to be able to clear this middle pad right away. Lasers are going to push forward. Phantom's going to clear the Banshee, but stealthing should clear the Phantom and be able to push these lasers off. Now he's going to move the Phantom over that far left, and no, actually, he's not going to be able to hold pads for very much longer. He blocks with these lasers. Nice call, but laser drones do get on there, but now just to flip it.
Ooh.
Again, Naturalsky with a great play. Exactly what he needed to do. The Phantom sat at that top right, and Pontykey didn't really realize what was going on. He should have moved his lasers up to 1 hex to start dealing with the Phantom, but the timing was just so good. Naturalsky, what an amazing play.
Yeah, Naturalsky twice there with the 6 flips. Really well played. All right, second game of the double elimination. We've got Sasteek versus Naturalsky. The winner will go on to face SRP SS. The loser will face Pontykey in the knockout round. Or the loser's bracket, I should say.
3, 2.
Alright, we're on open water, and we're seeing Naturalsky with a Rockworm deck, and Sasteek is bringing an MSV Juggernaut deck. What is this deck?
Yeah, I understand the idea because the pads are so close together, so it favors ranged units, but is he ever going to get to Juggernaut MSV? I don't know. I mean, Sandstorm I like, but Juggernaut?
Yeah, he needs to hold the early game with Rifle Dog Pitbull, basically.
Yeah.
Until he can make it to his Juggernaut Sandstorm. So whether or not he's able to do that is going to be it's going to be difficult to say.
Yeah, the thing is, he is going to be able to protect the he is going to be able to win against the buggy and the bikes with an MSV setup and a Pitbull boosted, but he's not going to be able to efficiently clear these lasers. He will be able to use Riflemen to do it, but he doesn't have something fast like snipers, so I'm not so sure about this.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
so
it's a strange deck choice from Sasteek. If he does make it to the tech. Actually, even if he makes it to the tech, he can't beat Rockworm.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen Juggernaut versus Rockworm, and we may get a chance to see that in this game, but I'm pretty sure Rockworm will win because it's just going to burrow by the Juggernaut, and Sandstorm shouldn't be enough. He is going to need both of them, though, to protect the Juggernaut, and that's a huge commitment. So we'll see. This first missile is about to fire. We got a boosted Pitbull on that middle pad. It's going to clear that buggy just about in time. We push the MSV up forward so they can continue to get the boost on the Pitbull, but it's not going to set up in time. The Pitbull's about to go down. One more missile it will here, and there we go. So now he's going to be able to block. No, he doesn't. The lasers don't get the block on the Rifleman. So that's really good for Sasteek. He really needs to stall this missile as long as he can, and so far doing a good job of that. About to clear this bike as well. We'll be able to push forward. No, the bikes do get on there. Second set of bikes from Naturalsky get on the far right and start to charge or stall the missile once again. but this boosted Pitbull doing really good work, especially with the drone to heal it up. But now double bikes on that middle pad should win. We'll see. But no, actually, sorry, they do go down. He misses a missile onto the MSV, and right now, this is actually going to work out really well for Sasteek. He just needs to clear these bikes, and then he's going to be able to push forward and block the middle pad and take this first missile, which is going to be huge. And there we go. So he does get it with the rifleman, does clear the buggy as well, and takes the first missile.
Wow, yeah, really nice dancing from Sasteek to keep his Pitbull alive just long enough to get the rifles onto that middle pad. Moving the MSV up also very important to give him boost on the middle, and also to block from Naturalsky getting to that left pad. And yeah, then the boosted Pitbulls of Liang drone just can kill infinite bikes. And
yep.
Now we see the Juggernaut Sandstorm set up, but is Rockworm going to be able to break this?
That's the question. So Rockworm is about to unburrow, but nice placement on the Liang drone. He is going to try and block it. Look at that. The nice micro on the Sandstorm. Really, really great gameplay. And he's not able to get this Rockworm into position, and he's going to try, but he moves the Juggernaut over, but missile's about to fire. Will this extra Rockworm be enough? He is stalling the pads. Lingdron's getting over the far right, but lasers do clear it, and actually it's not looking like it's going to be the case. Second Sandstorm's coming out. Will it be in time? Rockworm should be able to win, but it's not looking good. It's pretty close. Sandstorm starts to get some damage off. Boosted Rockworm, will it clear it in time? It's really, really close, and it does. Oh, but they both go down. It's a very good trade, and right now it's looking like Naturalsky's got this. Can he do it? But the double Pitbull on the middle pad is going to lose to these lasers. Now second Pitbull coming out, but the bikes push forward, and it's looking like he might be able to clear this with the lasers. Will he be able to block against these riflemen? And he does. And now Naturalsky's going to take the second missile and come back into this game.
Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, amazing blocking from Sasteek to deny that Rockworm for so long, but the second Rockworm arrives, and he actually managed to kill it with the boosted Sandstorm, which is crazy because, you know, Sandstorm shouldn't really be beating Rockworm, but I guess the boost is such a big deal. But yeah, with Sasteek's Fortress broken, it's easier for Naturalsky to rebuild a 120 cost unit than it is for Sasteek to reset up 40 plus 130, so
yeah,
it's looking really good for Natsky here.
All right, so Rockworm boosts, he gets to the middle pad, and it should win against the Sandstorm. Even with the drone, he gets one more shot off, and it clears it, so that's really, really good. Now he's going to unburrow, and he's going to move over to the far left, and maybe he's going to go after the Harvesters and shut down Sasteek's economy. But actually, no, he's going to go after the MSV, which is a great call. He's going to clear one shot here. There it goes down, and now Naturalsky's in a really good spot. He just needs to get this middle pad dealt with, and he's going to be able to win this game. Boosted Rockworm will clear anything that comes out, and there's the surrender. Well, yeah, that was really well done.
Twice there, the Rockworm actually punished the Raider of the Pitbull by killing the Pitbull and the unit that it was trying to Raider through. Wow, that was crazy. A crazy game. See, both of those decks were absolutely wild. Well, Natsky's deck wasn't completely wild. The Steek's deck was insane, but yeah, Naturalsky just randomly had a Rockworm to break it.
Yeah.
That was the kind of game where I'm glad we did deck submissions, because that Rockworm was insane. Alright, so first game of the losers bracket, Pontykey versus Sasteek. The loser of this is eliminated from the tournament, so it's all to play for here. Everyone is still live for winning, but yeah, loser of this is done. So let's see what they bring. Sasteek with Jackson, Pontykey with Oksana.
3, 2, 1. New objective received.
Alright, wow. These decks, we've got quad infantry from Pontykey going up against a air mammoth deck with Kodiak instead of mammoth from Sasteek. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very strange deck choices.
I think, okay, so Drone Swarm's obviously going to be really good here because of the fact that there's only bikes, and bikes, obviously, well, they need 2 volleys to clear the Drone Swarm, so Drone Swarm should be pretty good. And then with the Mohawks to support, and then Kodiak to shut things down, yeah, I gotta say, Sasteek's got the better deck, I think.
Well, Sasteek going missiles first has really hurt him here.
It is, yeah, he's gonna lose this missile for sure.
Yeah, he's completely lost the first missile. In fact, Pontykey's just no harv. That's why he won that missile so easily.
Oh, this is his no harv deck, that's right. So he's going to be playing no harv throughout this entire match. And that may work. I don't think we're going to see Kodiak because of that.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see... Sasteek's not going to be able to go double harvester, so he's going to be relying on getting Kodiak out on 1 harv. As the game goes on, Sasteek's more powerful units might take over the game, but Hammerhead does nothing because Pontykey has no air.
That's right.
And the rest of Sasteek's units are quite cheap to allow for the Kodiak to come out. So he doesn't really have the good mid-range units that punish no harv, like tanks and Chem Buggy. So yeah, actually, I think Pontykey's got a pretty good matchup here. Unless Ssteeek can make it to the Kodiak, which just doesn't look very likely because the game's about to end.
No, it is, and this second missile is about to fire. He doesn't have enough units to get onto the pads. Pontykey having all three with that extra pop cap means he takes it comfortably and
there you go.
knocks the Ssteeek out.
1 minute 44 game. Second missile fires at like 1 minute 41. That really is the quickest you can end a game, and that is the power of no half. Yeah, Ssteek's deck just did not have the just didn't have the mid-range units that punish a no half deck.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the penultimate winners bracket match, Naturalsky versus SRPSS. The winner of this goes on to face Suzaku in the winners bracket finals, and the loser faces Pontykey in I guess the semis of the losers bracket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so we've got another GDI mirror, Jackson versus Liang. I would not be surprised to see Razorbacks or even Mammoths here. And we do see a Razorback Mammoth from SRPSS, and that guy's gone for a 4-air deck. Wow, that is crazy.
That is crazy.
This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I can't really favor one player over the other. Obviously, Borka works really well against Slingshot. So, but there are severe choke points on this map, so he might be able to protect the slingshots, and that's really the most important thing for Srpss in this matchup, is protecting the slingshots and then getting to his Mammoth tank. Because if Naturalsky gets any value out of his Borka, that's just going to shut down Srpss's win condition.
It's just so hard to say, because the slingshot is going to be obviously insane versus a 4-air deck. But the Mammoth tank is actually pretty bad, because there's 4 air units. The Mammoth tank isn't going to do very much.
Yeah.
So I think if SRPSS knows his opponent is on multiple air, he's not even going to try for Mammoth. And that's going to favor him massively. I think it might be a 1/2 Mammoth deck where he plays 1 Harvester and only goes for Mammoth if he thinks he needs it.
Yeah.
And I think if that's the case, then SRPSS is heavily favored, because then he doesn't need the Mammoth. He's not going to try and get the Mammoth. No, he's gone double Harvester here. So he is going to go for the Mammoth. Yeah, this is going to be...
it looks that way.
It looks like he just needs to make slingshots to win this matchup, though. I don't think the Mammoth's going to be that relevant.
And I got to say, that first missile was played so well by Srpss. The boosted riflemen were so key to taking that bottom pad. And then not only that, the Razorback moved over to the far left pad and moved just out of the way to not only take the missile, but also survive long enough to do some more damage to the riflemen. So overall, that was a really well played missile by Srpss.
Yeah, SRPSS is kind of a beast. And there's very aggressive slingshot play to protect his Razorback here. And that guy looks like he's not sure what he wants to do. So he's gone for Borka. Borka plus the Angro to keep it alive against the slingshot. Takes out very easily.
But now it's unloaded, so he's got to back it off. He's a little bit overcommitted on his positioning. He needs to back it off, so he does. Hammerhead's going to come over, but it's also going to lose to the slingshot. So not looking good so far. He hasn't cleared that Razorback. He needs to get that Hammerhead over. There he goes. And now the Borka being reloaded is going to clear the slingshot, but second one comes out, clears it, but it's not going to be in time. Another Borka coming out should clear this up, and he's going to get on the bottom pad. Razorback can't get there, and yeah, Naturalsky comes back. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not too sure who wins now.
I think this is really interesting because Naturalsky is so... His game plan is just going to be air plus... or just air, really. Air with Borkas to kill slingshots. I'm not sure how useful this Mammoth tank is even going to be from SRPSS. So this second Harvester has probably hurt him more than it's helped him. This Mammoth doesn't really do anything, but the double slingshot is what he needs, and he's made double slingshot to protect Mammoth. And ironically, like, the double slingshot is just what he needed anyway, so I think he could have done this without the Mammoth, and he would have been just as well off.
Yeah, well, the thing that the Mammoth tank can do is hold pads. As we saw there, he used both the Borkas to try to take out the Mammoth tank, which was a misplay, right? He should have went after the slingshots primarily, and then gone after the Mammoth tank, but that's about the only thing it's going to do. It's got a lot of health, so... but yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it's really not going to do a whole lot, so it might be an overcommitment. We'll see. This missile's about to fire, though. Slingshot's very low in health, and he's not going to be able to push onto the pads, and it looks like Naturalsky's got this. He can't get the Liang drone to take a pad, and it does, but it wasn't enough. And Srpss knocks him out.
Yeah, I think what you said is right. The fact the Mammoth just tanked for the slingshots was the most important thing it did. He spent 230 to have a beefy unit stand in front of his slingshots. It did kill the Harvester. It allowed SRPSS to gain map control briefly enough to remove the Harvester, which meant no more Orca Bombers came out. I think maybe Naturalsky should have tried to double harvester there. And
Yes,
gone
Borka
Borka
spam would have been really good.
Like, yeah, double harvester into infinite Borkas might have been better. Okay, semi-finals of the losers bracket, Naturalsky versus Pontykey. The loser of this is out and will come 4th in this Coliseum. For reference though, Naturalsky is currently 2-0 against Pontykey in this Coliseum. So Pontykey's gonna have to bring out something special if he wants to take him down in their 3rd meeting. And the winner of this will go on to play the loser of Suzaku versus SRP SS.
2, 1. New objective available.
Alright, so Pontykey does bring Mammoth, although he chooses to go with Talon over Drone Swarm, which is interesting. Probably to have a little bit better anti-air in the early game. Makes sense against things like Drone Swarm and Laser Drone, Razorback, Mohawk. And Naturalsky's gone for, again, this very similar deck to what he's been playing a few times now with the artillery. I have to heavily favor Pontykey in this one. Mammoth just crushes artillery.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anything in there that's really going to deal with Mammoth Tank reliably. He
Yeah,
could use
he has
Phantom Dual
nothing.
Pads, and maybe he's going to go for some flips. I think that's probably the best way for Naturalsky to win these games. But you know what? Stalling is going to work really well for Pontykey, and so far that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, both players just happy to sit on the pads. Pontykey is the one who should be happy, though. I think Naturalsky doesn't realize how bad this is for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're at almost a minute now, and the first missile isn't even half charged.
Well, we don't have 2 Harvesters from either player, so it's really just a normal aggro match right now. Pontykey, I'm not sure when he's going to go for the second Harv, but it doesn't really matter too much. We've got a minute 10 on the clock, and yeah, that's been working out quite well for Pontykey, but again, not having the second Harvester out right now is a little bit unusual.
So the buggies in Naturalsky's deck are actually very good against what Pontykey is bringing. If he just had opened buggy and had made like a lot of buggies, he would have been taking control of this game a lot sooner. Because 2 buggies can beat a Mohawk as well.
That's right. Yeah,
But
they
yeah,
can.
unfortunately, he waited quite a long time on this buggy and hasn't been able to take over the game with it. At this point, I think if you're Naturalsky, you should have been able to identify that your opponent is clearly stalling the match out. So you can have some
Pontyke's
idea.
clearly happy to do that, right?
Yeah, you should have some idea of what your opponent is bringing to the table. But as an artillery deck, it's very hard not to be happy with stall. So yeah, it's tough for Naturalsky to predict that his artillery is not going to be better than Pontykey's tech.
Yeah, and I don't know what Naturalsky's game plan is at the moment. He is basically just trying to win the value game with his units. Neither player has really fought for the pads. Neither player has gone double harvester. And economy-wise, Naturalsky is a little bit ahead. He's been winning the value game a little bit more, but finally he gets his lasers onto that top head, and he's going to start charging the missile, and he should be able to get it. If the Hammerhead's going to move over to the far right, he's going to start stalling the missile once again. Phantom needs to back off and clear this Hammerhead. I don't think it will, though. One more shot, and the Phantom does go down. But Naturalsky being on that left pad is important. Double Mohawk coming out. Boosted one will be able to clear this buggy, or so the bikes. He's going to get onto that far right pad as well. The Phantom should be able to win. He's going to boost it, and it's going to reload very, very quickly. And now it's looking like Naturalsky's got this. It's so close, so close. Phantom does clear that Talon. Again, this is going back and forth because of this 2-pad map. Not looking really clear who is going to take it, but we're finally coming down to it. Yeah, I'm not really too sure who is going to take this missile. And, oh man, it's so close. But finally, the Mohawk doesn't get onto the pad in time, and now Naturalsky takes the first missile after 3 minutes.
Yeah, so
Holy cow.
Naturalsky probably pretty happy with a 3-minute first missile going artillery. Immediately makes the artillery. Pontykey goes for a second harvest. As you can see, the expense of the deck with the Hammerheads and the Mohawks is such that you can't actually save up for a Mammoth on one half. So Pontykey has made the second harvester now, trying to get to his Mammoth in time. But Naturalsky, the game is so far in, and Naturalsky's already got his artillery. The harvester's moved up because the normal harvester patch is empty. So yeah, I mean, Naturalsky's able to start farming these harvesters, and this is a big deal. That's really slow down Pontykey's ability to get his Mammoth out.
Well, not only that, but he's also in a position where he could build a second artillery, and as long as he protects them, he'll be able to deal with the Mammoth tank. So he's in a really, really good position, especially with the Phantom setup. Buggy's going to get over to that far left. It's going to actually do quite good job against this Mohawk with the bikes to support, and he's going to push these militants on, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, you know, he loses the Mohawk on the far left, so that easily allows Naturalsky to take this missile, and Pontykey loses without managing to win a single game against Naturalsky. Man, Naturalsky doing really well.
Yeah. That's a classic example of why you can't make your second harvester after first missile with mammoth, because you don't make enough money between the second during the second missile to get the mammoth out. You have to already be almost at mammoth when the second missile starts charging. Okay, here we are with the finals of the winners bracket. Suzaku versus SRP SS. The winner of this will go into the grand final and will start with a single win. So it'll be a best of 5 grand final, but the winner of this will start 1-0 up. As that is the prize for winning the winners bracket. So we're seeing a GDI mirror. I think we're probably going to be seeing some Razorbacks in this one.
3, 2, 1.
I suspect you're right.
And we see only one Razorback. Interesting. Very interesting. So SRPSS is on more of a comfort SRPSS deck. Classic kind of thing you'd normally see him play with Borkers. And Suzaku has gone for the Razorback with Mammoth this time. And Suzaku's gone blind double harvester as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. He doesn't have a really fast answer to the Grenadiers, so the Grenadiers are going to be pretty good, except against Borka. But the Borka is going to do a good job against Mammoth. So, So again, it's going to be similar to that other match we saw where it came down to slingshot value. That's really what's going to be so important here, is as long as Suzaku can protect his slingshots and deal with the Borkas in a timely fashion, he should be okay. But we'll see what happens. These jump jets are doing some chip damage to this harvester. The Razorback is going to clear them, but he hasn't stalled the missile very well. We're almost at 50 seconds. He really needs to get on that top pad, but that single rifleman is going to get there. Isn't going to be quite enough for Suzaku to stall. And yeah, first missile goes to Srpss in a 55-second missile. So that's really good for him.
Yeah, so very cheeky play from Suzaku there. He moved his harvester over to the pad to see what was on it, and then responded appropriately. Unfortunately, by playing Razorback instead of Drone Swarm, his appropriate response is really expensive. And you can see how much that costs him, because he just he's not able to stall, because it takes him so long to get his first combat unit out. And he isn't even able to protect his harvester, so yeah, looking really good for SRPSS here.
It is, yeah. Losing that Razorback there, not being able to deal with those jump jets meant that Srpss got that harvester kill, so that is a big deal, like you said. It's starting to swing things over to him, and he may not need a second harvester to do Borka spam if it ever comes to that point. Suzaku building these Grenadiers, they're only going to be able to deal with this Pitbull, which may be enough. Liangdrone comes out a little bit early. He should have waited a bit longer, because he could stall this missile, and then Liangdrone's not going to be there in time to steal a missile if need be. The Slingshot's going to clear both of these Talons before he can clear the Grenadiers. Will he be able to get onto the pads? But no, it looks like Srpss has got this. Borka comes up to short things up, and yeah, takes it 2 missiles in a row against Suzaku.
Pretty dominant performance for SRPSS there. I think that Suzaku maybe thought this was cracked ice and not pillbox or something, because this is a really bad blind double harvester map. The first harvester is quite easy to protect, but the second one is horrific. The second harvester goes to a horrible spot to try and protect. So yeah, I think maybe Suzaku, a little bit wires crossed there, thought maybe he was playing on cracked ice, which is a very good double harvester map, because pillbox is not a good double harvester map. Okay, here we are with the losers bracket finals. The winner of this goes on to face SRPSS, starting 0-1 down, and it is Suzaku versus Natsky. And for those of you wondering, Naturalsky lost in the round robin to Suzaku, the only time they faced this tournament. So currently 1-0 for Suzaku. Naturalsky trying to get back in there, and this one is much more important than the last one was. So let's see if he's got any tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Let's have a look at the decks. All right. Yeah, very interesting choices from both players, but Suzaku using not aggro. The first time we're seeing it in the Coliseum today. And then from Naturalsky, we got Basilisk Splash with no tanks, but he's got Buggy and Stealth tanks. So, gonna be interesting overall. The Basilisk should get some pretty good value. It'll be able to shut down the tanks, which it'll open up Stealth tanks to clear Banshees. So I think overall Naturalsky's got the edge if he ever makes it to that point, but Suzaku could just be more aggressive and charge the missiles and win that way.
Yeah, Naturalsky actually is the guy charging right now, which is kind of surprising given his deck. I agree that if the Basilisk get rolling, he could win, although there's no good place on this map to set up a Basilisk and then protect it.
That's true.
So it is going to be tough for him. I do think Suzaku is gonna be favored in this matchup, just because I don't think the Basilisk is going to get there. But Suzaku is throwing a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit. Those bikes took down that Venom, which only need one more volley, and it did catch them, so that's not great. This Venom's doing an okay job, but the bikes are going to win there. But Flame Troopers come on the far left, so that's great for Suzaku, and he's going to secure the missile because of that. Boosted Buggy could not clear those riflemen or militants on the top pad to get on there in time, so yeah, Suzaku does take this first missile, which is great for him, and we're only at about a minute 15 for that first missile, so that's good for him as well.
Yeah, surprised to see Suzaku leave both militants up top for so long. But on a map like this, Steph is almost always going to take the first missile. Like,
yes.
in the early game, there's going to be infantry, and one of the pads is going to be held by infantry, and Steph's going to take that pad without worrying about pop cap. That's one of the reasons Steph was so strong for so long. That is a quick Banshee, actually. The second missile's barely charged, and here comes the Basilisk. Suzaku immediately responds with Banshee, but I mean, if Naturalsky can protect his Basilisk, he's in good shape.
He is. And he's using lasers. He doesn't have enough money to build a stealth tank, so he's got to really micro this Basilisk well, and he does. Banshee's now back off, and we're not really too well charged, so Banshees are going to have to be... It's a little bit difficult for Suzaku to gain value out of them. We'll see if that happens. But now gets the first stealth tank out. One Banshee goes down. Now he needs to get the other one. He's about to. The Venom should not clear it in time, and doesn't. That single missile from the stealth tank did clear it, so that's really good for him. And so far doing a really good job, and this means Suzaku's not going to be able to build his ground units because this Basilisk is just going to continue to shut it down. However, we're coming up to the second missile now. These Banshees aren't doing too great, but so far okay. The Sestro Cloud on that bottom left is going to be good. Nice Harvester pull from Suzaku as well, and it's looking like he's going to get this. He needs to block this Buggy. He does get on there, but actually no, it doesn't matter. Oh, Banshee does go down from the stealth tank, and he needs to be careful of these bikes coming on. Doesn't. Only gets two, but it's now it's going to hold, and I think Suzaku's got this, and he does. Oh man, Suzaku taking two missiles off him.
A classic example of why a tech splash not always a great idea, because you know, you don't have... He made the Basilisk, then he had to protect the Basilisk, and by doing so, he gives up all the map control, doesn't fight for the map at all, has to save for a stealth tank to protect the Basilisk. By the time all of that comes out, you're too far behind, and then Suzaku takes it. And congrats to Suzaku.
Exactly the... Yeah, that was exactly the disadvantage. You said it very well. The fact that the Basilisk just could not cover the map very well, and it meant that the Banshees were able to get more value, and it became really hard for Naturalsky to continue to fight against that. You know, even though he was on a single Harvester the entire time, it just, yeah, it was too awkward for him to continue to gain value out of it. So that worked out really well for Suzaku.
All right, here we are, guys. Grand Finals. Suzaku versus SRP SS. SRP SS, winner of the winner's bracket, starts 1-0 up.
Need
So
more Diane Jeffrey.
Suzaku does need to win 3 games. SRP SS only needs to win 2.
Yep.
And yeah, we've got Nod from Suzaku bringing the Seth against SRPSS bringing Jackson. So I predict Razorback from SRPSS and like a Nod aggro from Suzaku. I actually think on Middle Oasis, and this is going to be weird to say, I think maybe the Razorback is still favored, even though on Middle Oasis normally Nod is way ahead. And the reason for that is that if you can do what SRPSS is doing, which is go infantry into Harvester and protect your Harvester, the Razorback just takes over the game.
Oh no!
Oh,
so
he gets the block! Oh no!
Oh no! Not good.
I think
Yeah,
SRPSS needed to go
well,
missiles
but...
before Harv here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oof, that was close. And now a Tick Tank rush from Suzaku. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, if this thing gets set up in the right spot, it's really bad for SRPSS. Oh no, doesn't get set up in time. It takes a lot of damage there. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think the Tick Tank's gonna cut it. It took too much damage getting set up. I think he should have put it on the tile where the Harvester is now. Are these rifles gonna do it?
The Militants do it.
Oh, they do it! The Militants get the Harvester! I think Suzaku needs to Harvester now himself. I don't think he can no-halve this whole game. Looks like he's gonna try it, though. Oh, a boosted Harvester. What?
Oh, my.
What a joker.
Okay. Well, and it didn't really matter too much. I mean, he's got his Harvester. He's been harvesting more than Suzaku, obviously, so he's got more money. And then Suzaku's really committed into this Tick Tank, and it might be able to get another Harvester kill, but all he needs to do is move it. But nice blocking with those Riflemen to push the Harvester back. It looks like it might do the trick. We'll see. Mohawk shouldn't clear it in time. And no, one more shot, and there it goes. So he gets another Harvester kill. Is he going to build a Harvester now? He has. Is he going to get it into position, though? That's the question.
Yeah, and Suzaku finally makes his first Harvester. That second Harvester kill is absolutely huge. That makes such a big difference because the first one basically just caught him back up from the fact that he was rushing. The second one puts him actually in an advantage because it allows him to build his harvester without taking time off.
Well, and Srpss seeing that, he wants to get his own harvester kill, doesn't, moves the harvester just out of the way, but he only needs 2 more shots. These missiles are going to do it, and 1 more shot from the missiles, and there it goes. So now Srpss has got a harvester kill under his belt. He's got a ton of money, which is not entirely important, but it does shut down Suzaku from building more tick tanks, so that's going to be very important. But here we go. Missile's about to fire. Does that Mohawk get there in time? It does, but bikes are going to last long enough. It looks like the boosted missiles can't quite do. No, they do. Just barely clearing it. And these bikes are about to go down to this Razorback and Mohawk supporting, and it should mean that Srpss is going to take this missile. They should be able to clear infinite bikes, so we'll see. And yes, that is the case. Srpss does take the first missile, which is very important.
Yeah, kind of surprised. I thought that was going to be second missile because of how long this game's been going, but yeah, I guess no one's been charging. Yeah. And yeah, I really like how you get these weird games on Middle Oasis because the harvesters are so exposed. You get these really strange, aggressive games. So now we've reached the point where SRP SS is heavily favored. This is what I was trying to say at the start. Like, once you get to the mid game, if you haven't been pushed off the map completely, the Razorback Mohawk combo takes over. And Suzaku desperately needs a Banshee here, but he just doesn't have the money and he can't ever harvest again. And now I think this, yeah, and that's it. SRP SS does take the game. The wall of air units. Suzaku can't get his Banshee out. All right, wow. Congrats, SRP SS. Pretty brutal game there. All right, match point. SRP SS is 2-0 up, thanks to being the winner of the winner's bracket. Suzaku needs this one to stay alive. And we're on Canal Row, picked by Pontykey. So Canal Row and Middle Oasis, 2 slightly unusual map choices. But yeah, they basically just force different play styles, which is very interesting. So we're going to see a Liang mirror. I would not be surprised to see a slingshot and Razorback mirror. And we do see both of those units. Oh, wow. So Suzaku's playing the Sandstorm, and SRPSS is playing Jump Jets. Jump Jets are good on this map, very good. But Sandstorm is going to counter most of SRPSS's deck. And Hover is good on this map, and Sandstorm and Slingshot both hover.
Yeah, so I think Srpss' game plan is going to be to win the missiles as quickly as he can, because as soon as Sandstorm comes out, like you said, it's going to really make difficult for Srpss to actually win. So Suzaku's got to stall. He really needs to get to Sandstorm sooner than later and just, you know, basically get a couple of those out and then use one Razorback to shut down the Jump Jets and missiles. And it should be a pretty comfortable win for Suzaku there. So it's overall, I've got to say, Suzaku's favored.
I think Suzaku's favored as well, but Jump Jets are a lot better than missiles against Sandstorms because they have so much more damage.
Yes,
so
that's true.
SRPSS is not going to struggle to kill the first Sandstorm, potentially. Alright, so SRPSS with the first Razorback. This means Suzaku can respond immediately with a Slingshot. Normally this would favor Suzaku, except that SRPSS has 2 Jump Jets on the way already. And those Jump Jets are there's nothing to stop them.
No, the Liang drone isn't going to go down. He needs to block this middle pad, but doesn't. The Riflemen do get on there, so I think Suzaku's got this. Will he be able to clear it? No, he won't. So Jump Jets did a pretty good job, but just weren't quite what he needed. He was a little overcommitted in Popcat, so he couldn't build a counter like Razorback or something like that to deal with those Jump Jets. So it didn't work out quite well for him, and Suzaku takes the first missile, which is really, really good.
Yeah, a really big deal for Suzaku getting that first missile. I think SRPSS made a small misplay by when he moved his Jump Jets in, he tried to use them to block, but he didn't have the pads because the Liang drone was there. So what he needed to do was kill the Slingshot instead so that he could Liang drone himself onto the back pad. I think that would have been better.
The other thing I gotta say is I think in the mirror, do you think it's better to bring Pitbull against Slingshot?
No, I think the Slingshot is still best. The thing is, neither player really has a good answer to Slingshot. Normally you'd play Slingshot plus a War Factory unit that kills Slingshots.
Right,
but Suzaku's gone for Sandstorm and SRPSS has gone for Jump Jets. And the Jump Jets die so quick that like a Razorback can dive a Slingshot and kill Jump Jets.
Oh,
wow, we see two Liang steals there.
Whew, that was close. I was really concerned about Srpss there because of the fact that he really overcommitted on these Jump Jets, but it worked out okay. The Razorback had to hold that left pad, and there wasn't really anything going on towards the end of that second missile. Like I was expecting to see some unit swaps, but didn't see that happen. Srpss does take the second missile, but we're going into a third missile, and now a Sandstorm is out. Oh boy, this ain't looking good for Srpss.
Yeah, I mean, Suzaku, after winning the first missile, decided to go double harvester to commit to Sandstorm spam. So So now this
Yes.
is just going to come down to, can SRPSS remove Sandstorms at the right time? And a Liang Sandstorm is nigh indestructible. If you look
Just
here,
about.
it actually ignores these jump jets. Like, the healing is more than the jump jets deal damage. So you basically need Grenadiers to out-damage a Liang drone on a Sandstorm.
All right, third missile's coming down. This is it. Can he do it? And Suzaku's looking pretty good so far. That Sandstorm on the middle pad should protect. He doesn't get the Sandstorm into position, but it wouldn't have mattered because the Slingshot would just die in moments, and then the Razorback coming in would have shored that up. So Suzaku comes back, takes a match point from Srpss, but it's match point from here on out. So Suzaku has to win these next 2 games if he's going to actually win these finals, and that is going to be a tall order.
All right, here we are. It's 2-1 to SRPSS in the grand finals. We are still on match point for SRPSS thanks to his winning the winners bracket. And we're on center rally picked by Kenny. SRPSS bringing Liang. I would not be surprised to see Borka from him. It's a very good Borka map and he loves Borka. Suzaku's bring Kane, which is... I think Kane is bad on this map. I'm not sure where you can place the tower though. I don't know how far forward the tower can go, but I think Kane is very bad on this map.
Yes, I think so. I think maybe the obelisk was there just to deal with MSV Fortress, potentially.
I don't think you can put it far enough forwards, though, to actually hit the relevant parts of the fortress. I think it can only go, like, 1 tile back from the missile silo, which means you actually you can't hit all of your opponent's pad with it. So, yeah, I think it's a really bad choice in this map.
Yeah.
But Basilisk, on the other hand, Basilisk will be quite good on this map. Like, in fact, very good.
Yes.
Neither player brings MSV Fortress, which I think is probably the best deck for this map.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're both anticipating MSV, so they've decided to bring something that potentially counters it. Like, obviously, Borka will counter it. This deck from Suzaku can counter it, but yeah, I gotta say, I think I'm with you on that. The fact that the Obelisk Tower is not going to be able to get a lot of value with positioning. I guess you could place it in 2 spots, right? Like one below the pad between the missile silo and that far right or left pad. You could also place it above the pad, but it's only going to reach 2 hexes out of 3 on that left pad. So
that's what I'm concerned about. And also Basilisk will lose to Slingshot boosted by MSV. So if SRPSS had brought boosted MSV Fortress, I think he would be favored in this matchup.
Yeah, I think
but
so
too. These buggies are just doing so much work. SRPSS doing the classic SRPSS thing of only building Rifleman for the first missile until he goes Orca Bomber. But Suzaku knows who he's playing against. He knows that's what he's going to do. So he's got a stealth tank ready to go. But SRPSS sees it and instead just goes double jump jets. This is a great switch from SRPSS.
It
really
is. He's
smart
got enough
play.
money to build Borka if he needs it. Right now, he's got that far right pad and the left pad. The Rifleman won't be able to clear it in time. And yep, there we go. First missile going to Srpss, which is
really well played
good
from SRPSS. He saw the stealth tank lurking and knew that he didn't want to go Borka, so he just went quadruple jump jets. And Suzaku was heavily overcommitted on vehicles, especially with his 2 harvesters.
Yes.
But here comes the first Basilisk, and can SRPSS kill this? He has Talon, so I guess he can beat it.
Well, and I think a really good way for Suzaku to win this matchup is, you know, he really needed to take that first missile, and then he could go for a base rush with the Basilisk, but now he's not going to be able to really do that. The Basilisk is only going to target ground units, which might be enough. We'll see. Does it clear these jump jets very quickly before the Talon does? I don't think so. No, actually, the Basilisk goes down. Those double Talons are proving to be a bit of an issue. And another Basilisk coming out. He's got to be real careful here. These jump jets are going to be an issue for the stealth tanks. I don't think the Basilisk clears them quickly enough. No, they don't. More Talons coming out. Man, Srpss is in a really good spot here.
Yeah, I think SRPSS's deck is excellent against Suzaku's. I've seen a lot of Suzaku Basilisk today, and in general, not sure why. I don't think the Basilisk is a particularly powerful unit, and it hasn't looked that good today. I mean, yeah, we had a Basilisk mirror where the Basilisk was good, but every other time someone's played Basilisk, I think they've lost the game.
I think so, and we might see the same thing going down. The second missile's about to fire. We're almost charged all the way up. Stealth tank's going to come out. We'll be able to deal with that Borka, but Srpss actually no, doesn't move it out of the way, loses it, but doesn't matter. He's on that pad with the jump jets, and militants push on. Talon's going to deal with those militants. Another Borka coming out. It's going to start to deal some damage, but loses a little early. Will it clear these stealth tanks? No, it doesn't. Stealth tank clears it in time, and it looks like Suzaku's going to claw back just a little bit. Talon clears the militants. Stealth tank needs to get there, but he's not on the other pad there. Srpss is with the jump jets and takes it. 2-0, becoming the Coliseum champion of today. Well done, Srpss.
And there you have it, SRPSS. I think his deck was just much better than Suzaku's there. Suzaku bringing Kane that did nothing, Basilisk that did nothing, Self-tank wasn't very good. The jump jets were amazing. The jump jets absolutely cleaned up house.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think basically the deck from SRPSS was just much better for that map. And SRPSS takes it, and that means he is 3-1, which I believe is the exact reversal of what happened last month. I think last month we had Suzaku versus SRPSS. Suzaku started 1-0 up, and he won 2-1, ending up in 3-1 overall. And we have exact reversal this month, where SRPSS starts 1-0 up and gets the 2-1.
Yep.
And takes the Coliseum, so there you go. 2 Coliseums, October and November, going pretty much the exact opposite of each other. Suzaku's saying he won 3-0 last time. All right. Well, congratulations.
Really exciting Coliseum.
Congratulations, SRPSS. That is his 4th Coliseum win. 4 trophies. 4 trophies he now is going to have. Let me just quickly grab one of these trophies so I can show you guys, for those of you who haven't seen one of these trophies before. I'll put one up on the camera. Let's full screen the camera.
Oh, they are great too.
So for those of you who haven't seen one of these trophies before, this is what they look like. This is the trophy that SRPSS will win for today, and you can see the reflection on my screen in it. They're very reflective. In fact, this is one of SRPSS's trophies. You can see it says September Champion SRPSS on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it does too.
So yeah, he's gonna be receiving this and another one for November, and I believe he's got a 3rd one, and he's already got one at home, so it'll be his 4th trophy. There you have it, guys. SRPSS takes the month. Congratulations, SRPSS. Commiserations to the reigning champion, Suzaku. And thank you, Jeffrey, for co-casting.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me along.
And I think that'll be it for today. So thanks everyone for stopping by, and yeah, I'll see you all at a later date.